Oh boy, here we go.
Mr. Feet, Mr. Bob A. Feet.
Episode 3 dropped on Wednesday. I watched it today, which is Friday. And I think to start it off, I'm just going to talk about the stuff that I didn't like. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to say spoilers. And then I'm going to tell you that I actually enjoyed this episode, but there were some things I really did not like about it. So I'm gonna talk about that first, and then we'll go in with what I like about it, and then, we'll call it good. So first of all, my main issue is with Boba Fett's new biker gang that he has accommodated into his crew. Unfortunately, it seems like they're gonna be sticking around quite a while, so we're gonna have to learn how to deal with them. As I watched it the second time, just now before I'm recording this video, I realized what I didn't like about his new biker gang per se. I was able to pinpoint what it was. Now, before I say that, I'm going to say that when the dude from Office Space is explaining to Boba the thieves that stole his water, there were some youngins that had used droid parts to alter themselves to make them better, right? Like, so a cyberpunk-esque deal, which of course I always figured they'd be in Star Wars. It's obvious, you're gonna have that. Totally fine. But in my head, I pictured this. A Mad Max feel to it, right? Not what we got here. Now, the reason I say that, and the reason why I thought that, was because on the planet Tatooine, you have a certain aesthetic, right? Everything comes with a gritty, rough feel. So when I hear that, I automatically thought, okay, so like some Mad Max looking kids. They're gonna have some like old droid parts meshed onto their bodies to give them an edge up that they personally did to themselves. So come to my surprise, when we see them, they look like they look like they're loaded, that they're rich, because obviously to get those upgrades, you're going to have a lot of money, I assume, right? But then they're stealing water, and then they can't find work, so then they're poor. I don't get that. The design of their bikes are whatever, moped, obesity scooters, whatever you want to call them. I feel like they would be fine if, say, on a planet like Coruscant. But again, what I was expecting, some criminal adolescents that had made their own speeder bikes and upgraded them in their own way. Like how we saw in The Mandalorian, a speeder bike that had a pod racing engine like attached to it that was its main source of power. I expected that, not these scooter looking things with a billion mirrors on the sides. So that's my main gripe, but what I'm saying, or what I'm trying to say, is that each planet in Star Wars has its own aesthetic, right? You have Coruscant, who's all city, where I believe that this type of look on this gang would fit in completely and would honestly be really cool. It would make a lot of sense for us to see that on that planet. Even the mayor's office has that Tatooine gritty feel, and that guy's loaded. So it's just weird to see these characters thrust into this environment. It just doesn't match up. And when you have those same characters then chase down a speeder and take a scene that would probably be in Coruscant and then put it in gritty city of Tatooine, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to be there. And not to mention the CGI's wonkiness of the way those bikes move and float around. It just looks so bad. Gosh. That whole chase was just so bad. I don't know, man. I don't really know what they were thinking on that one. They probably thought it would be cool. Again, I could be totally wrong. But seeing that Robert Rodriguez is an executive producer on this project, I see that he probably had some say's and be like, guys, this is probably gonna be super cool if we do this. And they just let him do it, and then it was just, again, I could be blowing smoke out of my butt and I don't know what I'm talking about, but as a fan who has been watching Star Wars for a long time, I mean, basically my entire life since I was 5, it just doesn't feel right when I'm watching it, those characters in general. Now, with that said, and with that out of the way, I'll move on to the next thing that I didn't really like, the fight scene with the Wookie and Boba in his diaper. Totally understand the scene, pretty cool idea. I probably would have liked it more if, again, there wasn't so many like wonky cuts. And I get that whole fight would be kind of tough to not come off as cheesy if you don't have a bunch of cuts to, but then see, I don't understand how they did that And then his fight with the Gamorrean guards by themselves, and then that fight's like better than him fighting Boba and the robot gang. Because that was the best part of the fight for me, was him fighting the Gamorreans. Super cool, good choreography, not too many cuts. I think his name's Cranston. I think his name's Cranston. Again, I could be totally mistaken. I probably heard it wrong. I liked that he moved around like he was the Predator. The way he punched and was like super, you know, I don't know. He reminded me of Predator from that movie. Again, another thing I'm gonna nitpick on that fight was the Wookiee brass knuckles with the electric charge. Super cool idea, but when, you know, in reality, a Wookiee punching Boba in the face, I feel like the dude's jaw would be gone, you know, especially when he's not wearing any of his armor. I was expecting this fight to happen with Boba's armor on, so again, my expectations probably ruined that. But then again, I guess that's not where the story is going to go. So I'd say those are the two issues that I really had with this episode. And unfortunately, it was a very large chunk of the episode. I think that's it. And so now I'm going to go on to what I did like about the episode. I liked the story. I liked the story and how they're continuing it. The Rancor, excellent. I'm really excited to see how that plays out. And again, I'm so dumb. I should have expected Danny Trejo to come in, especially with Robert Rodriguez directing and making all these choices. Excellent casting for Danny Trejo to be a Rancor trainer. Excellent casting. So I'm glad we're gonna see him, and he'll be a part of the palace and all that. So that's gonna be awesome. You know, the Pikes coming in to take over. I like all that. It sounds like Boba's gonna have to team up again, so we're probably gonna get that Wookiee that he let go. There's a chance we might see Mando. There's a good chance we're gonna see some oldie bounty hunters that we all know. So I'm looking forward to the next episode. I like how we're seeing more of Boba's character and his personality. You know, I like all that. I like that he's gonna do what he wants to do, and it seems, as of right now, nobody's gonna tell him really what to do. He's gonna do what he wants. So that's the Boba that I remember and that I like, so it's good to see that. You know, I'm really sad about the Sand People, but it does explain why he was alone when we saw him in The Mandalorian. So now he's gonna be trudging through the desert by himself, and like, are we gonna get more flashbacks of him in the desert by himself? Like, dude, how many episodes in are we gonna have to go, you know, for us to stop seeing Bath Boba? That's not really one of my gripes with this episode. It's pushing the story along, so I don't really see a problem with it. So I think that's it for this review. I feel like the fan base is kind of split right now on the Book of Boba, and I'd kind of like to talk about that. Maybe I'll make a video on Monday or something. You know, we'll see how I'm feeling. But yeah, that'll be it for this review. I will be back for episode 4 when that drops. I am still looking forward to the next episode, but oh my goodness, that biker gang's rough. So again, we'll see what happens in the next episode, and I'll see you guys later.